And there is Lennox Lewis with his latest post about Oleksandr Usyk and states that Oleksandr Usyk is one of the greatest of all time. And he belongs in the same room as me. Okay. He also said that if he was going to fight or approach a fight with Oleksandr Usyk, he would cut off the ring and throw nasty uppercuts and power punches to neutralize Oleksandr Usyk until he folds. And let me counterpunch. I think a fight would be pretty interesting with Oleksandr Usyk and Lennox Lewis, just based on the fact that I haven't seen Lewis in there with someone like a Chris Bird of the time. He never fought Chris Bird. You know, someone that was fast, tricky, accurate, okay, and experienced. You know, he's defensively responsible, but then yet Lennox Lewis is so aggressive. You know, one thing that made him a very, very good heavyweight, or one of the best, is based on the fact he was able to commit into shots. He wasn't tentative. He was aggressive. He was quick. He threw combinations. You know, the boxing lesson he did on David Tua was heartbreaking. It really was. But you have to give him respect for that. You know, so, yeah, I never seen him in there with someone like that. You know, a lot of people used to compare Anthony Joshua to Lennox Lewis. I think Lennox Lewis is a lot better than Anthony Joshua. You know, even though Joshua has been knocked out now, Lennox Lewis has been knocked out twice. So, you know what I mean? But it doesn't really matter because he's avenged both losses. But again, the style of Usyk, I think, is an anomaly. I don't think there was a heavyweight like that. Not even Holyfield. Holyfield didn't have the footwork. He had the hand speed, but not the footwork like Oleksandr Usyk. So there's a totally different style right there. You know what I mean? Him giving credit to Usyk, though, I think it's about damn time, though. I mean, Lennox Lewis, and along with a lot of other people, witnessed Oleksandr Usyk do something that no other heavyweight has done in the last 20-plus years. It took 2 decades for us to see an undisputed champion. And I think at that point, that's when Lennox Lewis should have, hey, this guy belongs in the same seat as me. But, to be fair, it is March, and maybe Lennox had to see it again when he beat Tyson Fury again, you know? So maybe that is what clearly made his mind up about Oleksandr Usyk, you know? And I think that Lennox Lewis is he's pretty fair up the scale until it comes to Anthony Joshua. I think that was kind of a, you know, a personal thing with, you know, him being in the same country from, you know, you got the UK. Right. So maybe that was just something between him and Joshua. You know the backstory behind that. But other than that, he has been pretty fair about who he feels is good. And it shows you that he thinks very, very highly of Oleksandr Usyk by putting him in the same circle as himself, which is saying a lot, you know, to say the least. So, hey, Lennox Lewis, he gives his take on Oleksandr Usyk, but you can tell the competition element in him would still see himself fighting him. That's why he added to that, hey, if I was going to approach a fight with him, like nobody said you was going to fight him, but if I was going to approach a fight with him, if I was going to fight him, I would rip him to the body and make him fold. But, you know, you guys tell me what you think about Lennox Lewis stating that Oleksandr Usyk is one of the best fighters of all time because he belongs in the same circle as I. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.